We got breaking news out of our HQ studios. Payday for Jalen Ramsey agreeing to terms with the Rams for a 5-year, $105 million extension on an average $21 million per year. Now, Ramsey, of course, had 1 year left on that rookie deal, of course, from the Jags. He asked for them to back up the Brinks truck. He's definitely getting paid now as the highest paid DB in the NFL. Take a look, the 3-time Pro Bowler, 9 interceptions with the Jags there, 45 pass breaks up in 51 career games, traded to the Jags, as I mentioned, not too long ago during the 2019 season. Now they have their cornerstone, talking about Jalen Ramsey for the future for 5 years, $105 million. All right, join us now on the phone, Brian McFadden. Your reaction, man, Jalen Ramsey getting paid 5 years, $105 million, $21 million per year.
Wow. Yo, that's my reaction. Wow. Clearly deserving deal. Are we surprised? No, not really. Remember a year ago when they traded for Jalen Ramsey, they gave the Jacksonville Jaguars, 2 first-round picks for his services. So clearly they knew they needed to get a deal done. They knew they needed to give him a deserving deal because of what they gave to get Jalen. So, if you watch Hard Knocks, Jalen wasn't really trying to talk about the contract. He was just trying to get himself prepared for this upcoming season. But in the back of his mind, they knew exactly what he was looking to get. And I think Jalen was in a very, very ideal position. Seeing what happened at the cornerback market with some of the large deals that we've seen in months past, Byron Jones signed a huge deal with the Miami Dolphins. I guess most recently, Tre'Davious White, he signed a huge deal with the Buffalo Bills. So that was only setting the table for Jalen, and he just cashed in at the right time. And because of that, he is the highest paid cornerback in the National Football League. You
just mentioned that he resets the market. Tre'Davious White did that before him. Ramsey actually said on Twitter a couple of days ago, the market just went up. For him moving forward now, 5 years added on his time there in L.A., what does this mean for him?
Security, financial security. Having that structure in place clearly takes a lot of stress off of Jalen, just worrying about the contract. Will it get done? Will they give him what he's looking to get in return? So he has the financial security in place. Now he just needs to go about his business like he's done throughout his professional career at being one of the best cornerbacks in the National Football League. When you look at the Los Angeles Rams, their defense, they have invested a lot of money in premier defensive positions. You look at the defensive line, you got Aaron Donald, you got Brockers, and now you look at the secondary, the back end. You just locked up one of the top flight corners in the National Football League. So this defense should be better. They should be better when you look at how they have gone about the personnel, adding players to the personnel. But I can tell you this much, everybody that's a part of that organization, they believe that Jalen is deserving of every dollar he's going to get, and I think that will bring the team together.
B-Mac, you know D-backs as well as anybody here in HQ. Just out of curiosity for you, where does Jalen Ramsey rank among some of the best in the league?
I think he's top 3. He's clearly in the top 3 right now. That number 1 spot is being held by Stephon Gilmore based on what he's done last year, even the year before that. But Jalen could be easily number 2, number 3, depending on who you're asking. But I think the consensus would say he's definitely top 3, and I think he will show that elite-like play that we've seen in his professional career this year. The transition from team to team clearly was something that took some time for him to get his rhythm, understanding that new defensive format there in Los Angeles. But I think right now having not a full offseason, because we know the pandemic kind of shortened that, but just being a part of that ball club for a longer period of time than what he was last year should benefit him as an individual, should also benefit the team in totality.
He might be top 3, but he's definitely getting paid like the number 1 corner. That 5 years, $105 million. Brian McFadden, join us on this breaking news of Ramsey getting paid $21 million per year. Appreciate your time, my friend.
And with more on the breaking news, we welcome in senior NFL writer Pete Prisco. Pete, what do you think about the Rams giving Jalen Ramsey this massive extension?
Well, they had to. I mean, anytime you trade 2 first-round picks for a player, you better load up the Brinks truck and pay him because you obviously put a lot into going and getting him. So they had to. They were boxed in. What I am surprised about a little bit, and somebody mentioned this to me in the league just before, and a guy I talked to and said, why so much higher than what Tre'Davious White got? I mean, it's about, you know, $2.5–3 million more per year, and that's a bit much. I mean, look, I think Jalen Ramsey is a heck of a player and has a chance to be the best corner in the league. He's got the tools to be the best corner in the league. He hasn't played to that. He quite frankly, he drifts at times and doesn't play to the level of expectations, but there's no question he should be, based on his skill set, the top corner in the league.
He's going to get paid like one, that is for sure. There over Tre'Davious White and over Myron Jones, Xavier Howard, and Darius Slay. Pete, when we take a look at what the Rams are trying to do, I know you've had conversations with GM Les Snead. I mean, what is the plan? Obviously, they cut some salary with Todd Gurley, Clay Matthews, traded Brandon Cooks, but they've also invested in some other positions like Jared Goff and Aaron Donald. So with this Ramsey move, what do you think this does for L.A.?
Well, it solidifies a key position, obviously. You know, you can't play in this league without top corners, but it also, you know, puts them in some cap situation. I mean, they paid Aaron Donald a boatload of money. You know, Jared Goff as well. They did get out of the Gurley contract. They're not a team, you know, based on what they've done building for the future, I don't think. When you trade away 2 first-round picks to go get a corner and then pay him, it's clearly you're trying to win now. And they got to regroup. I mean, they didn't play very well last year. Sean McVay fired all the coordinators or got rid of all the coordinators. He had big changes on the offensive side. He's got defensive coordinator replacing Wade Phillips and also the special teams coordinator, John Bonamego. So they have changed everything, and this is a big year for the Rams. It's a brutal division, but you have to lock down your star players. And Jalen Ramsey has a chance, like I said, to be the #1 cornerback in the NFL based on ability. And you look at him, you match him up against every other corner in the league, he should be the #1 corner in the league. And it wouldn't surprise me after this season, maybe he is the #1 corner in the league, but he hasn't played to that just yet.
You mentioned the challenge ahead in the division they're in with Seattle, with San Francisco. If L.A. is to make it back to the postseason, now that they've locked down Jalen Ramsey, what would it take for them? What would have to be their strengths this year to get there to maybe 10, 11 wins, Pete?
Well, I think they'll be good on offense, Tommy. I think they'll score points. It's a good team. I think, you know, Jared Goff will bounce back. The offensive line, I think, will be much better, and they'll score points. My concern is, can you knock the quarterback down? They've had problems rushing the passer. Dante Fowler was their top pass rusher last year off the edge. And he's gone now in Atlanta. So they got to have guys step up and make plays rushing the passer. And that's always a concern. Look, I say it all the time. It's a passer and pass rusher league. If you can't knock the quarterback down consistently or at least influence them, you're going to have big problems. And you look around, you know, the way these teams play nowadays, it's hard to win when you can't have a consistent pass rush.
Pete, we've seen it in terms of setting the market, resetting the market. We've seen it here. What are the chances Jalen Ramsey holds on to this title for a little bit longer than we see the next deal?
Yeah, I think it'll stay for a little bit because, you know, it's hard to figure out who the next guy might be. But, you know, they paid all the young corners. You know, Tre'Davious White got his deal, and now you get Jalen Ramsey getting his. So it'll be interesting to see who the next guy is. But I will tell you this. Jalen Ramsey's the highest paid corner in the league, has the ability to be the best corner in the league, but he hasn't played to that just yet. He's close. He's about, you know, right for me, he'd be about 4 or 5. He should be #1. He has the most talent of any of those guys in the league.
4 or 5 for you, top 3 for a guy, Brian McFadden. But again, no doubt he's going to get paid like the #1 guy going into the season. Our thanks to Pete Prisco there with the breaking news.
So again, a lot of money heading Jalen Ramsey's way. Only 25, considered one of those top 5 corners we're talking about in the league. Still very young, 5 years, 105. I just want to make a point at 71.2 fully guaranteed in this contract for Jalen Ramsey now in the West Coast.
Yeah, really shined with the Jaguars with him and A.J. Bouye. That sort of fell through. We've seen what Jacksonville has had to go through. So obviously long-term success now, we think, hopefully, with Jalen Ramsey in L.A.
Oh, yeah, plenty ahead for him. A lot of time out there for the Rams. Jalen Ramsey getting paid 5 years, 105, the newest highly paid corner in the NFL.